afternoon. Hello, 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 family. Limitless Living Gang. Hey, this is Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health in your life, avoid complications, go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted, and we are living limitless lives. We are in another week. That's right, another week of our fast. And right now, I am just about 24 hours into this week's fast. And I just want to welcome you wherever you're joining me from, whether you are joining me from LinkedIn or Twitch or TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, and of course here on YouTube. Welcome to our check-in, pop-up live, if you will. We'll be doing our check-in later this evening. But I'm glad that you're here. Special shout out to our accelerator members who are out there. I do see you there. So thank you for coming through. Special shout out to those who are joining us because you saw our content on some other platform, whether it was your church, your doctor's office, somewhere in your community center. Thank you for coming by and hanging out with us. And then wherever you're joining us from around the country, around the world, thank you for coming through. Go ahead and drop that in the chat because we want to know where you are. For those of you who are right now ending your fast, right? So you started your fast yesterday with us as we started our 24-hour fast or our 72-hour fast, and you are ending right now at 24 hours. Kudos to you. Congratulations. Those of you who are starting the fast right now, I want to give you some props as well. And then, of course, those of you who are waiting until tomorrow to go through the process, all of you have decided to take a chance on yourself. You decided that it is important that you do what you need to do to be metabolically healthy. And that's what we're doing right now as we move through our space. A special thought for you as we continue this process of moving across the line. We're going to be we're going to be jumping into, since I say joining, we're going to be jumping into our show on next Monday, Dwayne Woode MD Live, as we talk about blueprints. What are those things that we put in place to keep ourselves consistent, to keep ourselves going in the direction we need to go? So come on out and join us. This week, we're continuing to finish up that getting across the finish line, finishing up, finishing strong, if you will. Go back and watch our show on Monday where we talked about power and the importance of crossing the finish line. And we have our flagship show that's coming up on Monday as we continue to launch into the rest of that series. Just a few days ago, we started our new series, Move, M-O-V-E, Metabolic Optimization via Exercise. And so I'm going to go ahead and let's play that promo right now so that you can see what that looks like. And here it is. Welcome to Move, Metabolic Optimization via Exercise. This isn't just about workouts. It's about moving your body, moving your habits, and moving your life forward. Each episode builds consistency, strength, and resilience step by step. I'm Dr. Dwain Woode, and together we're writing the story of health, transformation, and limitless living. This is Move. Let's get started. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm very excited for this new series that we have done. And so what we've done is we've taken the walking series, we've taken the strength training series, and others that are coming, and we've housed them under Move. And we've talked about Move, metabolic optimization, and exercise over the course of the last several months. And now all of our physical activity, all the moving that we do, which is part of the Limitless Living Health Action Plan, will now come under this name of Move, M-O-V-E. So I want to make sure that you join us as we go through that space, okay? All right, so we're talking about fasting. We're talking about fasting. And here's a truth that I've seen. So whether it's health, whether it's exercise, whether it's diet plan, whether it's saving, whether it's in a relationship, a lot of people get to 90%, get to 90%, and then they stop. Oh, come on. Come on. If you raise your hand, come on. I'm going to put my hand up. There are things that I've done, or things that I said I was going to do, and I was going, and I got 90%, maybe even sometimes 95%, and I stop for whatever reason, whether that is because I got discouraged, I got tired, things weren't quite working the way I thought they were going to work. And so I ended up leaving and ending and stopping when I was so close, just 10% away, 10% away. And so as we talked on our show on about getting across the line, I want you to understand that it is not just important the things that we do at the beginning. So making the decision, of course, is great. It's not just important about the things that we do in the middle, continuing that momentum, continuing that stride, very important. But it's also important that we understand that getting across that line, that last 10%, that last piece is ultimately important, because it is where we see the results of everything that we've been doing. And so I want to encourage you, as we are talking about our health, as we're talking about blood sugars, and we're talking about weight, and as we're talking about fatty liver and all the things that come along the metabolic spectrum, don't give up before the breakthrough. I'm like, that right there, I need to put that on a t-shirt. Right? Don't give up before the breakthrough, because you are just one more walk. You're just one more rep. You're just one more day, one more hour, one more moment, one more bite away from the benefit that you get when the breakthrough happens. And so as you're moving down the path, and all the things that conspire, all the things that come at you that says, hey, you've done this long enough. Hey, let's do something different. Hey, let's not do this anymore. All of those things, right, will conspire to pull you away, but you are so close. You're there. You're almost there. And so if you continue going, then you get to that place. But finishing that last stretch is where changes lock in. That's where changes happen. And lock in, like my son tells me, we want to lock into this thing. So that last stretch, I was watching a relay, and all these things come up on my feed now. Anyway, lots of different things will show up on the feed. And I was watching this one relay, and the gal at the who took the baton first, she stumbled and she lagged behind the rest, and she ran. She stayed in there, right? So there's importance in starting. She stayed in there. She passed it on, and she passed it on. And the last gal, when she took the baton, was a good, I don't even know how far behind the other person. And she started running, and she just took off, and she was running, and she was digging in, and she was going, and she looked like she wasn't going to win. She looked like she wasn't going to win. But in that last piece on the track, she dug in and she leaned forward, y'all. And she won it by just that much. And that's the power of getting across the line. Now, the gal who was running next to her, right, she was running too. But the power of getting across the line, I mean, just by a hair, she was the winner. She's the one that got the trophy. She was the one that got the accolades. She was the one with all the fanfare. So as we're moving down the road, our fanfare, our medal is long, healthy life. I want you to remember that. So we're not just doing this because we want to be excited about ourselves. We want to puff our chests up. What we're doing is we're doing this because we want to live as long as possible, and we want to be as healthy as possible. And if we're going to do that, along with starting, as important as it is, along with keeping the momentum, as important as that is, getting across that finish line, getting to the goal is ultimately important, because that's what gives us the benefit. So when you're fasting at that, 10-hour, the 12-hour, the 14-hour, the 16-hour, you're thinking to yourself, man, Can I do this? Can I do this anymore? Do I have to keep doing this? And the answer is, if you can get to the finish line, if you can get to the end, the benefits that you get are immeasurable. Think about it. It takes about 24 to 40 to 36 hours for your body to use up all the glycogen. It may take a little longer than that if you're coming into the fast and your blood sugar is already high. So it takes a little longer. So right at 24 hours, when the body is using up the glycogen and it's now getting ready to go into fat burning, we give up. So maybe 19 hours, maybe 20 hours, maybe 21 hours. And had we held out just another hour, another couple of hours, then the benefits that come with that 24-hour fast would have shown up. You're doing a 48-hour fast. Same thing. Or we have done our 100-day walk to consistency. We did a 100-day strength strategy mindset. We're in the move campaign right now. And just that one day shy of 100 days, or that one rep shy of completing that set, or that one bite before you of that candy, that cookie, or that cake before you got into the balanced bite. One away from where we are, and we could have been successful. So the last lap makes the meal and makes the thing real. It makes the medal real. The last lap, the last piece, the last thing that we do, ultimately very important. So here's something I want you to practice, right? Here's something I want you to practice. If you're walking, make it one more step. If you're walking, make it one more block. If you're lifting, make it one more rep. Last night, my son and I were working out, and he, of course, I was working with him, and so he usually hands me the weights. Right? So when we're doing bench presses, he's on that bench, I'm on the floor, and he puts it down, and I'm pressing, and this thing is heavy. I'm like, man, what's going on? It seems like I was much weaker. And I said, man, we need to back down and do some lower reps or maybe lower weights. And he said, oh, I went up 25 pounds. I mean, 20, but I went up 5 pounds. And so I was like, man, so let's go back down. He's like, no, you can do this. You can do this. And so we pushed through, and we got through it. And in fact, as we were going through the rest of the routine, we used the same heavier weights, 5 pounds heavier, for all of the things that we were doing in the routine. So by getting through that first one, man, I was able to get through the rest. So here's what I want you to do, right? So if you're walking, one more block, one more step. If you're lifting, one more rep. If you're fasting, one more hour. If you are looking at eating better, right? One is going to be less. We're going to be one more choice off the menu that is healthy. One more glass of water. One more. You're there. You're 90%. You're 95%. What are you going to do to get yourself into and get yourself past that hump? 90% of the times. 90% of the times. 90% of the times. You are this close to getting where you need to be. So I want to make sure that you are doing that. Okay? So the difference between almost and finishing is not that much. Come on. The difference between almost and finishing is not that much. It isn't a lack of effort, but it's a lack of structure and sometimes a lack of understanding. And it's not just that the difference is those words, but it's a legacy. When you're able to finish, the legacy says, hey, man, I'm going to be able to do this. I've done this. I've given proof. I've put that in the bank. It is what I do. Anyone can start strong. Woo! Anyone can start strong, but finishers push through. Finishers schedule through. Finishers plan through. Finishers take one more step. They take one more hour. They take one last bite. And through that last 10%, through that last 10% that we do, what transforms us is that last piece. It's the power of pushing through. So don't stop now. Don't stop now. We got one step further. And you right now, one step closer to ending the fast, one step closer to um, metabolic optimization. You're one step closer to getting better and looking better and feeling better. You're one step closer to longer health and longer life. So make sure that you understand that getting across that line ultimately important, and you can do it. We've done it. We've proven in the past that we can do it. Right? We've walked, we've strength trained, we fasted. This is just another example of what you can do because you have the history that says, yeah, this is what we do. Okay? So let me go ahead. I'm going to say, let's see. I think we've got some community members that are out there. Let me say hello. You see, we're trying something a little different today. And let's see what we've got. Let's see. So we've got so Pam. Pam says hello. She says hi. How are you? We're glad. Hey Pam, thank you for coming through and thank you for hanging out with us. We are so glad that you're here. For all of you who are out there watching right now, thank you for coming through. Remember, join us for our MOVE campaign, metabolic optimization via exercise. That's the new housing for all of our MOVE, and we'll be talking more about that as we get into the rest of this week. We'll be talking more about that as we get into the rest of the month. And so I'm excited that you're here. Hey, this is Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E. E stands for endocrinology. Here I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted, and we are living limitless lives. Now go live a limitless life, and we'll see you next time for another pop-up live as we continue our fast. Let's go ahead and let's play that promo one more time before we get out. Welcome to MOVE, Metabolic Optimization via Exercise. This isn't just about workouts. It's about moving your body, moving your habits, and moving your life forward. Each episode builds consistency, strength, and resilience step by step. I'm Dr. Dwain Woode, and together we're writing the story of health, transformation, and limitless living. This is MOVE. Let's get started. All right, everybody.